everyone, I'm Andrea Hogsett. I'm in the beautiful backyard of CEDARS with Jim Blue, talking about what is CEDARS. So Jim, can you tell me a little bit about this organization?
Sure. First of all, thank you for your compliment about the backyard. It is a wonderful area back here for the kids, walking path and soccer field. A lot of folks on Pioneers don't know us here, but it's really a blessing to the kids, and we're very grateful. I'm biased, of course, but I think CEDARS is a great organization. We are, in my view, a true grassroots community-based organization. We've been around since the mid-1940s. A lot of times organizations that have been around for nearly 80 years, maybe they lose some of their roots in the community. I'm real proud to say that we have a connectedness, which I think sets us apart from some of the established organizations in our state. We have a true volunteer board of directors of about 16 members who represent a diversity of interests in the community, but all come together for our mission, which is helping kids and families in real difficult situations achieve something very simple: safety, stability, and family. I say that facetiously because it's not often very simple for a child who's been through some very traumatic situations. But if we keep that focus, we've found that we can be effective with a large number of kids in a really unique way that lasts a lifetime.
And there's so many different programs I know CEDARS does. Again, you're trying to help kids in all facets of their life. Can you tell me just about a few key ones?
Well, we have two big categories of care here at CEDARS, and a lot of programs under each category. One is out-of-home care, and that's what we were founded, a safe place for kids to stay that have no other safe place to spend the night. Oftentimes those kids are abused and neglected, are homeless or run away or victimized in some way, and they need a safe place to spend the night. Short-term stay is what we try to do, and bringing in all sorts of support for those kids to try to get them back home. Emergency shelter. We have the only emergency shelter in Lincoln and, in fact, southeast Nebraska, and we're full. Our largest program, this organization, is foster care. This morning we had 212 kids with our wonderful foster parents spread in neighborhoods throughout the community and apartments. Kids who are like 18 to 21 who are ready to learn some skills of living on their own with all sorts of support from CEDARS and others. The other big category of care is what we call prevention, and we are trying to keep families together in the first place. And of course, the place to start with that is youngest kids, early childhood development. We're at Clinton and Hartley Elementary Schools, Northridge Early Childhood Development Center, nationally accredited child care center, and then a range of programs that go into families' homes and work on parenting, work on budgeting, work on self-esteem, work on connectedness of those families with the community to try to stabilize and help those families develop in a healthy way.
And having just like that solid family foundation is so important for the children as they grow up. Yeah. But for the larger part, for the community, what is this bringing to the community here in Lincoln?
Well, we're very pleased with the shift this organization has made to foster care being our largest out-of-home care program. Gosh, in the last 15 years, we have moved out of group homes. We probably had half a dozen group homes and such, and all of those are done. We still have our emergency shelter because that's short-term and more crisis-oriented. But foster care is so wonderful. One, because in no particular order, it engages the community. You can be a foster parent. All you need to do is go to our website and click that button saying, I'd like to learn more. It engages the community, but more importantly, of course, is the kids. What do we expect out of our kids? That they grow up to be productive members of our community. They be great neighbors. And the best way for a child to learn that is to grow up in a family home, in a neighborhood, going to the neighborhood school. And so we're very pleased with that shift that the whole field has made, but in particular CEDARS has made over the last 10 or 15 years.
It really shows that it really does take a village to raise some children, and it's so great having the community come together and really support this organization. Besides foster care, what are some other ways the community can get involved?
Well, I hate to say it, it's a bit tacky. Financial support is, of course, first and foremost. What we do is we try to attract and hire great people to be an important role in kids' lives and families' lives, and we're in the service industry. 90% of our expenditures are salary for great people to work with kids, so financial donations is always first. But not far behind that, volunteer time, and there's a huge range of volunteer opportunities. In a few weeks we're having in this beautiful backyard our annual luau for kids, and there will be carnival type booths set up all over the place. We have volunteer groups coming in and doing the dunk tank. There are hula dancers coming in, and we have events throughout the years for kids, for folks to volunteer. So there's just a whole range of different opportunities to get involved in kids' lives.
And for our viewers who are really interested now and really would love to get involved, where can we send them?
Oh, just call me, that's fine. Call CEDARS and talk to me, that's fine. Or anybody get on the phone with CEDARS, hopefully will be helpful. You know, it's cute to say there's no wrong door, CEDARS. That works for kids, that works for families. I think that works for the community too. Of course, our website is the #1 way to get information and quick access into CEDARS.
Jim, thank you so much for allowing us to be here and talking to you today. It was so great learning about all of the different facets of CEDARS.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
It was fun. Thank you.
Stop. One step back. Use the beat before you cross the street. Left, right, left. Use the beat before you cross the street. Left, right, left. 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 Left, right, left.
Hello, I am Melissa Fuller with Shape of the City, and I am out at Eastridge Elementary School, and I am with Kayla and Christina, and we're going to talk a little bit about Healthier Families, which is an extension program. So for people who may not know what the extension does, as in terms of what you do, give us a broad overview of what the extension does, especially around maybe the Lincoln community.
Yeah, so Nebraska Extension in Lancaster County provides a lot of different programs, whether it's, horticulture, trying to, tell people have better yards, how to grow gardens, etc. We also have a lot of nutrition education programs, including SNAP-Ed, FNEP, and then we have, ag programs. 4-H is a very huge program in Lancaster County as well. And so, yeah, we offer so many programs. And so I think that's really cool that, we can provide that research-based education to all of Lancaster County.
Tell me a little bit about Healthier Families.
Yeah, so with Nebraska Extension, we're, one of our goals is to provide research-based education throughout all of Nebraska and all 93 counties. And I'm a food, nutrition, and health educator, and as part of that, our goal is to just try to help make communities healthier, families, children. And so with that, we've been delivering a 4-H Food Smart Families program this summer that is sponsored by National 4-H Council and United Healthcare to help, kids and their families eat healthier today and tomorrow.
Christina, talk a little bit about what you do, especially as it relates to this program.
I am a Family Service Youth Development Program Supervisor, and we are very fortunate that we were able to develop this partnership this summer with 4-H. We have had 4-H, initially they have come at Prescott Elementary, and that's how we started working with them. And we were thinking it would be beneficial to offer this program to more students over the summer months. And that's how everything started. And in addition to this, I think what 4-H brings is not just education for students, but also parent awareness through the materials that they are sending home, as well as the bag of groceries that the children will be bringing home. So each child participating in this program, and by the end of the summer, there will be more than 100 students who have been served through this program, will bring home a bag of groceries with information about how to stay healthy and the importance of physical activity as well.
What sort of impact have you seen so far? What have the kids been saying? Have you heard anything from the parents?
Yeah, so with the kids, it's always neat to see them every week, because every week we make a healthy snack and talk about what they learned the previous week. And, you know, we have so many to go home and make the snacks with their families, and how the families really love the snacks as well, and the different recipes. So it's not just impacting the students, it's impacting the families by eating healthier. So I love seeing that part of it.
We have had consistent feedback from our students, and we can see this in the choices that they are making and the way they're talking about foods and experiences at home in the kitchen. So I think it impacts not just the children, but the parents as well, and maybe the extended family, hopefully.
And then since you're working with some of these 4-H students, so what sort of impact do you see it going on with them, since, you know, you're working with a lot of high school kids?
Yeah.
What sort of impact are you seeing there?
I think that's one of the great things about 4-H Food Smart Families, is having that teen ambassador role, you know, because they have learned nutrition education themselves as well, but they're also learning to teach it and to interact with the students. And so I just think it's a great experience for the teen ambassadors, and I've really seen them grow this summer, you know, and they're great teens, so they've helped a lot this summer, so it's awesome.
So for a parent who may be out there, maybe there's a teen that sees this that says, you know, wow, that might be perfect for me. What do they need to do to get involved in the future?
Yeah, just contact Nebraska Extension in Lancaster County. We usually hire teens like in May, so next May, to contact me or somebody else at Extension, and we'll get them involved to be a teen ambassador.
I am here with Erica. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
Can you tell me, what did you learn about healthy nutrition this summer?
Well, I learned how to wash your hands and how much time it took. And we learned how to get more active, more healthy with outside instead of staying inside.
What was your favorite thing that you learned this summer?
Well, my favorite thing that I learned was, well, during the weekends, my mom taught me how to do stuff in the kitchen.
Wow. Are you ready to make healthy food then, you think? So what's your favorite healthy food to make?
I'd say the salsa that we made.
What was in the salsa? What sort of things?
Like corn, oil, lime juice, beans, and tomatoes and peppers.
That sounds super yummy.
Yeah,
Have a great rest of your summer.
I will.
I am with some of the students that took part in this summer's program. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, so why don't you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves in terms of how you got involved with the program and what you're going to be doing in the future.
Yeah, so I've been a part of 4-H since I was 8 years old. This is my 10th year. And so being able to be a teen ambassador is kind of my way of giving back to the organization who's done so much for me, as well as I get teaching experience. So
that's how I am. I'm going to be an elementary education major, and I want some exposure of how to teach kids, and this is a great way to know some ways.
Again, with me, it's the experience. It's a good thing. I got involved a little bit differently, though. It was volunteering through my school. We had a program similar to this during the school year, and now it's summer. I'm helping out with other schools. Yeah.
So what was sort of your favorite part of working with these kiddos?
I think learning what they have to say and how they process the information. Kids say a lot of really funny things, and so it's just really interesting to see how they take the information that we give them.
I thought we would teach them, but actually they really taught us some different things. And also, I learned a lot about nutrition that I didn't know before.
Kind of the same as Valerie. Like, yeah, I'm learning about nutrition with this too. Like, I've gotten healthier throughout the program. But then just like with the most rewarding thing for me is just like the little kids, being around them. They're super funny. I enjoy them.
So what would you say to a friend then, you know, to encourage them to do something like this?
For me, it's just something I enjoy. So if they enjoy it, go ahead, try it.
If they enjoy nutrition and working with kids every day, I would say go for it, because it's a great opportunity in the summer to work with kids.
I think if you're wanting to be a teacher, definitely get involved, because it's a great opportunity. You learn a lot about classroom management, and you learn a lot about different behaviors and how to process and analyze those. But then also, if you have any interest in giving back to the community, get involved because it's a great opportunity to give back.
So now I'm here with Alyssa with Nebraska Extension. Can you tell me a little bit about, in terms of the dietary world, what will Nebraska Extension be up to now the school is going to be getting started?
So Nebraska Extension in Lancaster County offers a school enrichment nutrition kit program. It's available to all Lincoln Public Schools, grades K through 5. Students learn about My Plate, meal planning, the digestive system, and how their body uses food. They learn about nutrients and about incorporating more physical activity into their daily lives.
How important is a program like this for kids as well as their families?
Yeah, so it's really important for kids to be, maybe they're learning about nutrition at home, but maybe not. So for them to have that information in the classroom and then take home and share with their families on how to incorporate foods from My Plate, the importance of eating breakfast every morning, being more physically active as a family can make a big impact on Lincoln's youth.
Thank you so much again for all the work you're doing, and good luck on this next school year.
Thank you very much.
Kids, get off your phone. You need to pay attention to the road. Or else there might be tar, or wet cement, or a car. Please get off your phone, or you might end up with a broken bone. Your phone may seem like it's all that, but staying alive is where it's at.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Hodgson. I'm in this really beautiful paradise location. I'm here with Molly Femister, who's with Southern Heights Food Forest, and we're in this wonderful area. Molly, what can you tell me about this place?
Southern Heights Food Forest is right here in the middle of town. That makes it a little bit unusual. Most places that are trying to grow food in any kind of quantity are outside of town. When I say food forest, people start looking for large trees. We're young, this is only our 4th growing season, so we don't have large trees yet. It's not that we're gardening in a forest so much as that we're gardening like a forest. And to garden like a forest, we're creating the kind of structural and functional biodiversity that locks together and does all of the jobs. Usually a gardener is in charge of mulching. We grow ground covers and chop and drop plants that produce a lot of biomass that we cut off and then just lay them down and let them rot right where they're at. Gardeners often are in charge of feeding their plants. We're growing things that are simply improving the soil and pulling up the minerals and making it a really healthy place to live. And so I'm not in charge of that. Gardeners are often in charge of picking all the bugs off. Right now, everybody in town is picking Japanese beetles off and putting them in little jars of soapy water. And here we're trying to invite in the birds that take care of the grubs that do that. We're not having quite so much Japanese beetle pressure because we have a lot of birds on site. And the birds are eating the grubs, and that's how you keep Japanese beetles under control. It's a food forest because the bulk of what we're growing here is edible or productive in some other way. And maybe it's both edible and, like the lamb's quarters right behind us here, can be eaten. They also get really tall and shade everything else out, so I cut them off and drop them on the ground, and so they're mulch. So they're both food and a mulch. They're doing 2 different things at once.
And Molly, why was this area created in the first place?
We were working, Southern Heights Food Forest was born of the interlock between a couple different organizations in town. Nature Explore, which is the outdoor classroom design arm of Dimensions Foundation, worked together with Community Crops, and these are crops gardens beside us with individual family gardeners. They were working together with the idea of creating a place that was focused on perennial plants and perennial edibles. And in looking around, where can we put this, we discovered Southern Heights Presbyterian Church, who owned the large 2-acre plot that we're standing on. And the advantage to us was not only was there a large plot with a bit of a south face, which is a nice touch, and a very receptive, welcoming congregation of people, they also had a massive roof line and a big parking lot. And you think, why would those be an advantage? And that's because we need the water. When they say that it takes 30 inches of rain to get trees to grow, they don't mean on the leaves, they mean in the roots. So if the 30 inches of rain hits the ground and runs off, that's not going to be enough rain. But oftentimes we have years here where we only get 22 inches of rain. We'll have a little drought year. Well, if I'm getting the 22 that lands on this field and the 22 that lands on their parking lot and then comes shooting across into our field, I've got 44.
There's so much different things happening here. What are like some of the uses you, like educational, what do you really use this area for?
Absolutely. Education is a major piece of the puzzle, and of all ages. Starting at about 6 weeks old, we start having little babies and their moms coming out. They're playing with rattles. The kids are waving, where the moms are, waving little sheets over them, little scarves that blow in the wind, and the kids are just kind of experiencing the breeze blowing on their skin and the smell of the different plants and the sounds of the birds and the insects and the road that are all around. And so they're getting this wonderful multi-sensory situation, which is wonderful for their brain development. As the kids get older, the entire Nature Explore classroom that's here is available for them. They can dig, they can paint. We have watercolors, we have toys, we have building blocks. And we even have a fallen tree that's safe to climb and large colorful sheets that they love to build forts out of. As the fall strawberries come in, and we'll have a fall crop of raspberries also, I start inviting the kids down into the food forest and they go hunting for them. And I used to try to direct them, oh honey, you only want the red ones. Well, they start learning color because they taste test. And they're like, wait a minute, that color tastes better. They start noticing what color are the strawberries and they eat them. And then what I discovered is that even my own child, I can get her to eat things here that she won't eat at home. She'll eat tomatoes here like they're a peach. I've seen them eat aronia berry. Aronia is one of Nebraska's natural fruits. Aronia gets far more purple than any grape out there. But it's not sweet until you add something like grapes, which are almost pure sugar. And the kids will just strip them. They'll just eat them straight off the plant. They love them. They're so into eating food right from the source. They're so excited by this idea, and I think their bodies respond to it well. A whole pack of these kids sat around eating a salad. Now, did they eat salad at home? I sincerely doubt it. But here, they were willing to eat a salad. Here, it was their idea. And it was stuff that they had just gone and picked, like the lamb's quarters, like the radish leaves. I can't even remember what all I was handing them, but various edible leaves that were up. And they took it all down. I was like, okay, if you insist.
So what kind of events do you have here?
The education portion goes right on up through adults. So at the moment, a lot of what's happening for adults are things like tree planting workshops, where we have this fall, we're going to be planting red buds, goji berry, sweet shrub, also known as Carolina allspice, and a couple other interesting plants. Plus we'll be getting perennial vegetables in. Earlier this year we did a hugel mound. Ross Broccoli with the Hugelculture Institute dug a huge hole, buried all kinds of wood from all over town, which is a wonderful way. If you're doing a raised garden bed at home, throw your old rotting firewood that you haven't burned for 2 or 3 years, throw that in the bottom. It'll save you on the amount of dirt you have to buy, and it'll keep those plants fed and watered really beautifully. Your box will do great. The Nebraska Nut Growers Association was here in June, and they grafted our hickory, walnut, and pecan with improved varieties. Kind of exciting stuff. So we're gonna do some interfaith work starting this winter, where different faith traditions all have a relationship with the earth. They almost all have stories about how they are intended to interact with the plants and animals and the wildlife, and origin stories of where they come from. And so we'll be inviting groups here from all kinds of different faith communities. We're ready to start working with the schools. Blue Stem Montessori has been here, bringing their kids around, but we're also ready to work with adult groups too. A lot of it the past 3 years has just been getting stuff up off the ground and up and running. So the programming is going to explode over the next 2 years.
This area is so beautiful and there's so much going on.
Thank you. Thank you. We're really proud of it. Let me show you around.
Okay, cool.
This is really pretty in the spring. There's a whole line of pasque flower that come up also.
I love these.
Isn't that cute?
Painted. Yeah, that's really cool.
This is a great example of the layering that we have going on. the pawpaw trees here, which produce a lovely, weird football-sized fruit, or small football-sized fruit. That's got it's like a cross between an apple and a banana in flavor, and kind of like a mango in texture.
Oh, wow.
But it's a native tree, and that'll get to be about 8 or 10 feet. The cherry in the back there is from Montana. It's actually a pie cherry, but it's fairly sweet for a pie cherry. And that'll get to be 15 to 20 feet. So we'll have 2 different sizes there, and then you can see this one that's turning purple. Those are aronia, and the aronia might go to 4 feet. So then we've got 3 different layers of the woody shrubs, and then behind them there's sage, and we're starting to grow things like yarrow, there's dill. I can't even remember everything that's in here. I have apple tree trimmings that we're going to be using to replace some handles that broke, because apple wood is wonderfully dense. So everything's got a function, and even once we cut it down, we're using it. Sometimes for mulch, but oftentimes going to start doing crafts and things like that. We're growing a whole bunch of decorative gourds with the idea of making musical instruments out of them.
So the growing season, if there's still fruit left on that just doesn't get eaten for whatever reason, what do you usually kind of like let happen to it?
When I've got a bumper crop of stuff, I'm starting to take it elsewhere in town. So we delivered strawberries to the F Street Rec Center earlier this year. And places like that where there are neighborhoods that we know that there are high densities of kids on free and reduced lunch, we start supplying those rec centers. So we'll probably bring some to Calvert eventually, but F Street will be the first one that we're taking to.
So what do we have here?
So this is our blackberry. We have blackberry and aronia side by side here, and they'll stay about the same size. The back of the guild here is raspberries, and then the east side is all strawberries. And then the little tiny trees will be big again in a minute. Those are some of the pecans. Excellent. Okay. There's one.
Ooh, thank you.
It actually started to break on my hand.
This is a delicious food forest. So good.
Shape of the City is dedicated to keeping Lincoln informed of health and wellness programs and events. Visit our calendar at lincoln.ne.gov, keyword Wellness Calendar. If you'd like to see your program or event covered, email us at LNKTV Health at lincoln.ne.gov.